welcome to episode 493 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right, you're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are feeling sad and playing Magic, or you're somehow feeling happy and playing Magic.
Somehow.
We are here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, we're going to answer a lot of burning listener questions.
That's right, we have a classic Midsummer Lull mailbag episode.
But I love mailbag episodes,
I
you know?
also love mailbag episodes. I'm just saying, this is always the time of year when we do them because summer's
Summer's tough.
kind of slow, man.
But if your questions are burning, you should contact a doctor.
Yeah, you should talk to someone about that. Honestly, even if your questions are itching, you should talk to
somebody about that, Just just give
to have a quick chat.
There's probably a cream for that.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
A topical
Ointment?
Yeah.
Oh, ointment. What a word.
It really is. Ointment.
Ointment?
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
An ointment for pigs only.
Ointment.
An ointment.
All right.
We're also going to talk about recent updates that are going to come to Alchemy and Historic with the July 7th update, which includes the dropping of Battle for Baldur's Gate into Alchemy and Historic. And Wizards of the Coast is making a couple of changes. Turn and face is strange, and some of them are, in fact.
Some of them are, in fact, quite strange. Some of them are less strange and maybe slightly expected.
Yes.
If you've been battling your way through Alchemy and Historic queues.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about what some of those mean for Alchemy and Historic as well. Yes.
Before we do that, we have some people to thank. And first and foremost amongst them are you, the listeners of this podcast.
Thank you, lovely listeners.
Thank you so much to everyone who's a patron of this show, keeping it on the air. And thank you especially to Dimitri and Michael for respectively upping and becoming a new patron.
Thank you so much, everybody. You can become a supporter of this fine show. Get a shout out over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic.
And do you know what?
It's a great time.
It is a good time in the summer because Midsummer Lull happens to everything across the board.
Yeah, not only is it hot and you're on your couch, you're watching Justice Judy for the 5th time.
Judy Justice, Maria, please respect her. She is, in fact, a real legal person.
My TV keeps trying to recommend me watch Judy Justice.
Do you have an Amazon Fire?
Yes, that's why. And I'm like, I will not.
Do you know what? I have a Roku and it doesn't tell me to watch anything weird.
I know. I need to get my Apple TV back because I'm just not here for it. Don't tell me to watch Judy Justice. Do you know me?
Like, what is this?
Have you seen what I've been watching?
That's the point, is it doesn't know you. It just knows who it wants you to be.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Dun.
I want you to be the kind of person who watches Judy Justice for 5 hours in the summer, splayed out on your couch as you drown a pool of your own sweat. Well, guess what, Amazon Fire Stick? You don't control me. I control you. I have a remote for that purpose. What? Yeah, so far.
Yesterday, so I'm in the middle of moving.
Oh, yeah.
We're really getting off topic here, but you know what?
It's summer
pushing
episode.
through.
It's a summer episode.
Summer episode.
We can do that.
I'm moving. Okay, moving is
the worst. One of the top three
worst activities that you can participate in.
Accurate.
It really sucks.
Yeah.
I was talking to people the other day about how sore I am because you do all these activities, like you walk backwards upstairs
and you never do that ever.
Exactly. That's not normal activities while carrying really heavy stuff and just sweating all over. And so yesterday my body basically just gave out on me for a couple of hours in the afternoon and was like, I can't do this anymore. So I made a new profile on my Switch and started Breath of the Wild from the beginning so I can remember how to play it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. When does the new one come out even?
I don't know.
Man, summer is the best time for video games.
Yes.
I love video games in the summer.
So, I'm having a nice time with a good old classic.
It is. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, yeah.
When does it drop? Gosh, somebody just put a date. I need a date.
Someone just say a day.
2023, of course.
Okay.
God dang it.
Fine.
It's not fine.
Okay, it's not fine.
I need a new Paper Mario. It's never gonna happen. Just play 1,000 Year Door again, Mario. I already know everything that happens.
Wow,
It's
Maria.
Fine. I love Paper Mario.
Really into Paper Mario. All right.
Anyway, what were you saying? Patreon.
Thank you to the patrons. Thank you as well to our sponsor, Card Kingdom. Yeah. Okay, we came around through these stories, talked about Breath of the Wild, talked about Paper Mario. What we've been saying this whole time is thank you, patrons.
Yes. Thank you. And you get access to our Discord, which, by the way, is such a cute place to hang out.
It really is.
Please tag me if you want me to respond in the Discord channel. It just helps me get it back in there. So just give me a tag if you want me. If you have anything you want to ask us, we'll come in there and talk to you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you as well to our sponsor, Card Kingdom.
Yes.
CardKingdom.com/GLHF, the place to get all of your Double Masters necessities.
Double Masters releasing this Friday.
Wow.
How? I don't know. It is somehow.
Wild.
You can get it from Card Kingdom. Pre-orders are live right now on their website.
Yeah.
You can also, available now, get Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. If that's more your speed. If you're like, I want some of the Commander decks that go along with that.
Yeah.
If you just want singles from Double Masters, those will be available pretty soon. And I mean, there's a lot of new art. Have you heard from people playing this set?
Ooh.
They had the pre-release this past weekend up at Loading Ready Run.
And they were like, new art.
And they're like, this new art is sick. And there's a lot of it.
Great new art.
Yeah, so if you want to upgrade any of the stuff that Double Masters upgrades for you with some new art, consider Card Kingdom for all of your singles needs. Meghan has just shown me possibly the most disturbing piece of magic artwork I've ever seen. Hello, this is the Randomizer segment.
Yes.
Where we pick a random card from Scryfall and have to try and guess what it does based on the art alone. And I wish you all could see this.
It's really creepy.
I'm going to put a link in the show notes to the arts from these so you can play along at home if you are somewhere where you can look at art while you're listening. And it won't give it away because it's just going to be the art crop. So you're playing the same game I'm playing, everybody. Okay, I'm going to describe this.
Yes.
You're looking at a winter scene. There's snow. Featured in the frame is a man of some description who is quite emaciated, getting towards skeleton, perhaps demon. I don't know. There's something wrong with this person. He's been bitten. He's turning. He has scraggly hair, long, sharp teeth, and he's in a kind of a squat position with one of his hands digging down into the snow, finding some blood. What I can only assume is trying to harvest the blood that is beneath the soil from a dead body that is underneath the snow. He has his other hand up to his mouth, his kind of skelly-y hand, which is also covered in blood, and he's sucking on his fingers.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
There you go.
One of the spookiest.
That is the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
Creepy piece of art.
What on earth is this card?
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to know the name?
I'm going to guess the name first.
Great.
I think the name of this card is Skelly Man Blood Feast.
All right. Okay.
What is it actually?
Ashen Ghoul.
Well, okay. Yeah, close.
Yeah.
This is a black card, I hope. This card is 2 and a black for a 5/5. You can pay 1 and sacrifice a creature that you own to have it attack or block.
Ooh.
So you see, it's undercosted for 5, but you can't attack a block unless you sacrifice a creature for 1.
Yeah. Okay, this has some of the weirdest rules text ever on it.
I'm so excited.
Ashen Ghoul, 3 and a black for a 3/1.
What set is this from? Originally.
Ice Age.
Ice Age. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because of snow.
Yep. Creature zombie, 3/1, haste. Black. Haste. Return Ashen Ghoul from your graveyard to play. Play this ability, I'll read the Oracle version.
Yeah.
Activate only during your upkeep and only if 3 or more creature cards are above Ashen Ghoul.
What in the world?
It's talking about
the order in the graveyard?
The order in which they arrived in the graveyard. So there have to be 3 other creatures on top of it.
That's because it's buried because it's a zombie, so it needs to have been buried under the earth to come back.
Exactly. It needs to not have just died. Other things need to have died and piled up on top of it.
So
isn't that really weird?
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's complete and utter nonsense, but I love it somehow. And it has haste.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Isn't it very bizarre?
Gosh, do black cards just natively have haste? Do
These
they? These days?
I'm sure that there are other black cards with haste.
Okay, you figure that out. I'm curious because recently, I'm going to say that in quotes because I don't know how recent has actually been, but Wizards of the Coast have been like, okay, we have to get serious about what these colors can do, you know?
Yeah.
Like back in the day, we were just going bananas, and now we're just like, well, can black really have haste?
There are 55 cards where the text includes haste and the color is black.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean...
let's see. This one doesn't actually have haste.
Banehound, that's more recent.
Banehound. Blighted Bat, which you can pay
to make haste? Okay.
to give haste.
Huh. Okay.
Let's see. Bloodghast, which has haste if your opponent has 10 or less life.
Classic modern card there.
Yeah. Clackbridge Troll. You remember this guy?
Oh, Clackbridge Troll has haste. Okay, so I guess black sometimes has haste.
Let's see. I'm trying to see. Yeah. They do tend to be older, it looks like.
Okay. I mean, red, because this is the finishing of my thought from before. Like, they've said, okay, well, red obviously is haste primary color, but they've kind of decided, abilities will also have a secondary color. So, for example, flying in white or blue, one of them is a secondary one. I don't know which one, honestly, just sitting here.
I think blue is primary
and then white is secondary in flying.
Because white's primary is vigilance.
Vigilance, yeah. So, yeah, black's, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, so anyways, it's not a ton.
Interesting.
Rankle. There we
Rankle
go.
Master Prinkles.
Very famously. Yeah, it kind of seems like Vengeful Reaper from Kaldheim.
It's kind of occasional haste.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes, like a lot of times, it's referencing like coming into play, like Mogus's Marauder
from the graveyard,
or coming back from the graveyard specifically.
Sure.
Yes, it'll have haste.
Okay,
but yeah,
I get it. I've got an art pulled up for you here.
All right, let's see
which is kind of a fun little guy.
Ooh, I love this. I don't know what's happening, but okay. There's like what I'm gonna say is like a merfolky type humanoid.
For sure.
Who's like a very like majestic looking, like got a long, fish beard.
Fish beard.
And has like a lot of long fish hair going back and is wearing like an explorer type outfit.
Yeah.
And
a satchel.
Exactly. And seems in one hand is holding kind of what looks like a scepter or maybe a mace, but a conch shell is the end of it.
It's very cool.
It is very cool. And they look like they're in some kind of underground cavern.
Yep.
And they're like touching their finger to a swirling portal that looks a little bit like a sideways Milky Way.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, can the Milky Way even be sideways? It's in space.
It's in space. Every way is sideways.
A vertical, kind of like like portal that looks a little bit like a galaxy. It is very cool.
It's a cool looking piece of art.
I'm gonna say that this is called Celestial Merfolk. That's my guess at the name.
This card is called Don't Talk to Me or My Conch Staff Ever Again. It's called Razorfin Abolisher.
Oh.
It's a bizarre name.
Razorfin Abolisher. Okay, I'm going to say that this is 1 blue-green.
Uh-huh.
Actually, let's go with 2 blue-green.
2 blue-green.
2 blue-green for a 1/1.
Ooh.
But when it enters the battlefield, you can exile any other number of non-merfolk creatures you control and then return them to the battlefield.
So it does a little blinky
blink.
Okay, well,
I'm 100% wrong.
You're wrong, but it's interesting what you said. So this is a Merfolk Wizard. It's a 2/2. It was originally printed in Eventide.
Okay.
Its ability is 1 and a blue, tap, return target creature with a counter on it to its owner's hand.
Interesting.
Which is kind of very weird.
That's very weird and very specific.
But it does remind me of what you said about the blink ability, because perhaps you want to just save a creature from a removal spell, and you just send it back to your hand.
What was its mana cost?
2 and a blue.
2 and a blue. Wow.
Once you have been marked by the marrow, you are no longer for their waters, is the weird flavor text.
That is a weird flavor text.
I don't know what it's referencing, but...
yeah. Wow.
Oh, the Miro. Once you've been marked by the Miro, you are not long for their waters.
Their merfolky name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Razorfin Abolisher, Eventide.
All right. That's a cool art. I really like that art.
Cool art, strange card, which, you know, we could say for a lot of these I would play on the randomizer.
Yes, we certainly can. All right, everyone. We have some Alchemy Rebalances, which, of course, also affect Historic.
Yes. Much to many chagrin.
Yes. Which is also primarily where it will impact what I've been playing personally.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What have you been playing?
I've been playing 5-color Niv in Historic.
So good.
I love it.
5-color decks.
Love
A+. So these changes are going to be live, like I said at the beginning of the show, on the 7th this week.
Yeah.
Which is Thursday, because that's when Alchemy Horizons Battle for Baldur's Gate is released on Magic Arena. And that's obviously going to inject a whole bunch of new cards.
It's going to ingest a bunch of new cards.
Into Alchemy and Historic. And along with that, they're like, you know, while we're doing that,
let's just shake things up.
Might as well rebalance.
Let's rebalance. All right, there's some big ones.
Let's first talk about the ban, because there is one ban.
There is one ban, which is very weird.
I don't know why.
Grinning Ignis, banned from Alchemy.
Okay.
And I think it's just because they're like, this could be a combo piece.
Sure. Grinning Ignis, if you don't know what this card does, it's 2 and a red for a 2/2 elemental. Red, return Grinning Ignis to its owner's hand, add colorless red, activate only as a sorcery.
I have no idea what was going on here.
Sure.
They're specifically killing some kind of combo.
Okay.
That was Grinning Ignis was part of.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take their word for it.
Individual cards.
Yes.
Cauldron Familiar Danes. Cauldron Familiar can't block.
What?
Can't
block. This little kitty cat is being nerfed.
Cannot block?
Going to Nerf City. Population, lots of cards. But also
what
this
do you
one.
think that cat's only job was?
Blocking.
What do you think that cat's only form of employment was?
Getting into
Blocking.
ovens, honestly.
Okay, that's fair. But like, I guess I'm considering that like a thing that happens to it as opposed to its job.
Yeah.
You know?
It was here to block. It was here to die. It was here to come back.
Yes.
But guess what? Can't do that anymore.
Cannot.
All you can do is throw it in the cauldron. And can I just, for one, say, thank gods.
Yeah.
Get this thing out of here.
Get out of here.
I mean, obviously, you know, if you're listening to the show, I have no love lost on this cat oven deck.
No.
In any format in which it rears its horrible, terrible, multifaceted head.
Well, Maria,
but
you're going to see less of it. Because also, another one of the key cards in the food deck, Meat Hook Massacre, no longer has whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, gain 1 life.
No way!
Which is huge.
That is huge.
Huge.
So the opponent just loses the life.
Yes.
No gain anymore.
You don't gain any life anymore when you cast a Meat Hook Massacre in Alchemy or Historic.
Holy cow.
Wild.
That's a huge
change. Big piece of it because it's so important to be able to wipe the board and then get a bunch of life
right,
back
exactly.
from doing it.
And the same thing goes with the Cauldron Familiar, because if you're a deck that's trying to attack in any way, shape, or form with a creature, you're just like, well, I'm not even going to do it because the stupid cat doesn't matter.
Stupid cat.
So my creature's just going to sit here and not do anything. But now,
no longer.
You can at least attack, and they can't just sit back on their stupid cat and put it in the oven.
Push that little cat in front of it.
Yeah, they can just be like, well, I can, drain you for 1 or 2 or whatever, but I still have to take the 5.
Yeah. We are slowly getting closer to the better treatment of cats.
Yeah.
We are now, you may still throw them in ovens.
Yeah.
But you may no longer throw them in front of things that are attacking you.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
I feel like PETA had a hand in this change. I think this is a great change.
Yes, I agree. I'm excited to see what this does to Historic.
Because it's like, if you want to play this deck, first of all, we're not friends.
It's still going to be good.
But it'll still
exist.
exist.
Also, it's still going to be good.
Yeah. So,
not the only deck getting nerfed.
Yep.
Because Dragon's Rage Channeler is now going to be +2/+0 when it has Delirium, up from +2/+2. Obviously, still just busted.
Still a good card.
I
think that's fine.
This is even bigger in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unholy Heat, it used to be that it deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker, but it deals 6 if you have Delirium.
Right.
And now it's only 4 if you have Delirium.
Okay.
Also huge. They could do stuff like, again, I'm looking
Your
at this from
like
the 5
your
color.
Niv.
They could kill your Niv. They could kill a Teferi even once you play it and plus it.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're right.
They just like one red instant kill your Teferi and you're like,
okay.
What?
I spent 5 mana on this. I
spent 5 mana on this. Please respect it.
I mean, I never respected the Teferi.
Wow,
but
Maria,
you know, it's fine.
You should.
I mean, I respected it in that I died to it often.
Well, fair enough. So yeah, those are the 2 big changes coming to Phoenix.
Yep. Poor Winota join her forces.
I know. Well, one, she is unbanned in Historic, which is big news.
Yes.
But that's because she now says, whenever you attack with 1 or more non-human creatures, instead of for each attacking non-human it triggering, instead
it's just 1 or more.
It'll trigger once.
Once. Okay.
The end.
Great. The funny, we're laughing about Winota because boy, has she been through the ringer.
She's been dragged all over the map by these adjustments.
They're like, do we ban her? What do we do with her? Do we bring her back? Does she say gone? Which formats is she legal in? They're like, hold up.
Okay.
What if it was just one
about
time?
This one?
I think that's fine.
Yeah. Do you know what? Great.
Welcome back, Winota. I hope you don't continue to be bad.
They've talked about some decks that they're trying to bolster a little bit.
Speaking of bolster.
I know, speaking of bolster, +1/+1 counters, which, like sometimes this has not been effective, right? They've done this to an archetype and it doesn't change. But also, notably with the dungeon, venture into the dungeons
it worked.
It worked.
And I was skeptical.
But it worked.
I will say, I was one of the first people who was like, oh, come on. You're pushing the dungeon thing. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It worked.
Ely Cassis took down a whole stinking set championship.
That's right. And that deck was awesome.
That deck
love
was really
that deck.
cool. So they're pushing +1/+1 counters.
Okay.
Because they've got cards, they say like Broker's Ascendancy, Sanctuary Warden, Falco Spara. So they're also bumping up the abilities of Bredegard Stronghold.
Interesting.
Which distributes more counters.
Very importantly, Gnarlid Colony has gotten better.
Yeah, most of these things are just adding, like, however many counters it added, they now add more counters.
Yeah, we're big fans of Gnarlids here on Good Luck High Five. Gnarlid Colony, now you get 4 +1/+1 counters if kicked instead of just 2. Yeah. Which it becomes a 6/6. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Another one, Tenured Inkcaster, is now 3 in a black instead of 4 in a black, and is a 3/3 instead of a 2/2.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So there's a ton of counter stuff, and then they also have instants, sorceries, and wizards.
Okay, I like that. Wizards.
Yeah.
Is a cool archetype.
A big one, Ardent Dust Speaker, which was a 3/4 for 5 mana, is now a 3/2 for 3 mana, which makes it just...
wow.
Yes.
Holy cow, it costs 3 now instead of 5.
Yeah.
That's a huge change.
That's the
card that says whenever it attacks, you can put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. If you do exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play those cards this turn.
Yep.
That's cool.
Maelstrom Muse is down to 3 mana, which gives you extra... it makes your instants and sorceries cost X less.
Sure.
Where X is its power. Tome Shredder is 1 in a red.
I love that they're
little buddy.
They're buffing this random wolf.
Yeah, they're just like, do you know what? Hey, here you go. Mentor's Guidance is now 1 in a blue, which is...
Ooh, that's nice. I like that.
Cool.
Well, that's kind of cool. And then they've also implemented what they're calling some quality of life changes. Now, they've messed with Painful Bond before, Megan.
Yes.
They're messing with it again.
Because it needs it.
So now they've added non-land to it. Draw 2 cards, then non-land cards in your hand with mana value 3 or less. Perpetually gain when you cast a spell, you lose 1 life. So they were like, oops, not done messing with that one, I guess.
Obscura Polymorphist now says up to 1 creature. So when Obscura Polymorphist enters the battlefield, exile, it used to say 1 target creature. Now it says up to 1 target creature.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these changes all coming on Thursday with the drop of Battle for Baldur's Gate into Alchemy and Historic, which we'll talk about on our next episode.
Yeah.
If you want to head to Arena and play some of that. Even if you're not an Alchemy person, I still think it'll be a fun set to draft.
Yeah.
hopefully. And it will come in affect Historic, which is a format that's played by a lot more people too. So relevant to your life in probably some kind of way. These changes and indeed the infusion of new cards into the format. And some weird cards, which we talked about last episode. So if you didn't listen to that one,
go listen
to that one. Check it out. We went through all the mechanics for Battle for Baldur's Gate, Alchemy Horizons version. And we talked about some of the really weird stuff they're doing. So check it out. Hey, everybody. We want to say thank you to our sponsor, Ultra Pro.
Yes. And specifically, we want to talk about this owlbear dice bag. Look at it. Look at his weird little mohawk mane. Look at how fuzzy he is. Look at his sharp little toes. He's
cute.
Just a dice bag. You could put dice in here.
Don't just have a boring dice bag. Have an owlbear dice bag.
Owlbear dice bag. Look at how cute it is.
Ultra Pro makes a bunch of really cute dice bags.
Yes, and this is one that is available. Like we had for a long time, we had the Mimic treasure chest.
Treasure chest Mimic.
Dice bag, which was great. Back in the day, they made the Gremlin ones.
You can get the Grumpy Cat dice bag. You can get the Xander from the D&D set.
Great.
The Beholder dice bag, which is pretty cool. You can get a Mind Flayer.
Yeah, this buddy's in there.
You can get a giant dice to put your tiny dice in.
Yes, we've sent many people giant dice to put their little dice in.
Yeah, so
you know what? Dice bags, they're not just for holding dice.
They're for looking cute. Look at this guy.
Look at this guy. He's got a little carabiner clip.
If you want to buy something from Ultra Pro, use the code GLHF at checkout for 5% off.
Nice.
If they're having a sale, that stacks on top of it, by the way.
On top.
So they have a clearance section, everybody. Just going to throw that out there.
Go get your butt a cute dice bag. Your butt deserves
we'll thank
it.
you. Oh, yeah.
And we'll thank you.
Sorry, that's probably Charmin's logo, but I mean, slogan.
Slogan, Charmin, your butt will thank you.
What is Charmin's slogan?
Oh my goodness. I really hope it's your butt will thank you.
I mean, like, what? I just Googled that and what popped up was, please don't squeeze the Charmin. That's got to be like from a million years ago. That's from 2011.
No, that's a real thing. Okay, Charmin tagline?
Yeah. Oh, look, I've got a slogan list. Somebody has compiled this over the years. Unbelievable.
Okay, wait. Well, here's from this NPR article from 2011. Quote, please don't squeeze the Charmin are words that help propel the Procter & Gamble toilet paper brand to the top of the heap in 1969. What were people doing in 1969?
Unbelievable. Okay, so here's 1960, don't squeeze the Charmin.
Yeah.
The 1980s, they decided to switch it up with, once it's gotcha, it's gotcha. What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
1993, they went for a long time.
Yeah.
Choose Charmin. It's terrible.
Boo.
The 1997, best for bare bottoms. So that must be when they
have the bears.
Introduced the bears. Yeah. Then they, in 2004, went for less is more. That makes sense. Because they're like, ours toilet paper is thicker, so you have to use less. And then in 2006, they upped the ante with less is even more.
So they're talking about how much nicer their toilet paper is getting.
Then in 2007, look for it in the red-blue package. Dumb.
Were they worried about people not being able to identify their toilet paper?
And now, currently, from 2010 to present, enjoy the go, which is... gross.
That's gross and bad. No.
Your butt will thank you, I think, is a much better slogan.
Much better slogan.
Charmin, call us and then pay us for the slogan.
Yeah. You're welcome.
All right, everybody, it's AMA time here on GLHF. Another set of letters, FYI.
IKYK.
Will this be TMI? TTYL.
ICY.
ICBM.
ICYDK. There we go. I got it. Oh, boy.
We've asked for questions from everybody on Twitter, Instagram, our Discord for patrons, and we came up with a lot of great responses. So thank you, everybody who responded and sent in some questions for us. We got some good ones here.
Yeah.
And we're going to start off with a banger.
Ooh.
Do you feel that Wizards of the Coast is producing too many sets for the average player to keep up financially?
Wow.
So,
great question.
Great question.
Yes.
And this is something that a lot of people have been talking about recently too.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of sets.
Okay. I thought about this, and here's like my first opinion.
Great. Let's go.
Here's my first take on it is it used to be when there were fewer sets, it was like, oh, the average player is going to participate in every set.
Correct.
Every set is for every player.
Yeah.
Are there now too many sets for a player to be able to keep up financially? Yes.
Well, yeah.
Unless you are exceptionally wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But that is because I would argue that it has moved away now that there are many sets which are not necessarily targeted towards every player.
Yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter say this today, actually. I can't remember who it was, sorry. But somebody made the comparison that Magic used to be like every set was for everybody.
Yes.
And now it's kind of like, what kind of music do you like?
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, oh, well, I like Alchemy music. Well, okay, then you can play Battle for Baldur's
You're
Gate.
alone.
Alchemy, and you're the only person in
Yes.
the room. Or if you're like, well, I like Pioneer music and I guess now Explorer music. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, what's relevant for my life in that scenario?
Yes. Like I love I love Secret Lair music.
Right, exactly. Great.
Like,
That's
I
for you.
love fresh Commander deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of stuff going on out there, and I think it can be a little confusing, for especially the players who like to be involved a lot,
Yes.
which, to be fair, is us and some portion of our listeners, especially the people who follow Magic on Twitter, participate in Twitter, which can be an echo chamber of Magic players because we're like, we're the most invested players, and we think everything is for us, but it's still not,
No, it's
probably, unless you are fabulously wealthy or just have enough time to do all of the things all of the time,
Yes.
which I guess some people do.
Yeah. But like recent example, even I didn't get any of the pre-order stuff for Alchemy Horizons Battle for Baldur's Gate because I was just like, I looked at it and I thought about it and I was like, what? I always do one or the other, right?
Yeah.
I'll always usually do the play one so I can do some drafts, do some sealed. But I looked at it and I was like, I don't really, like, I don't need to. I have enough gems that when it comes around, when the draft is out and I want to draft a couple of times, I can draft a couple of times. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to do more than that.
Yeah, I only bought one. I usually buy both.
Yeah.
I just bought the one with the seals and the mastery track. That's all that I'm interested in for this set. So I think, that's a great point. We're just kind of picking and choosing a little bit more now. As far as standard is concerned, we have the same amount of sets. As we've always, we've had fewer sets, honestly. I don't know how to say it. I don't think standard is like, oh, we're going up in price.
And I totally get the feeling of like maybe having like release FOMO, right? Like something comes out and you didn't get it and you're like,
true.
oh no. But also I think that it's great to have more ways for people to play the way that they want to.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
Next question, how do you remain consistently amazing rays of sunshine?
It's an act.
Well, I'll tell you this,
it's
everybody.
Not an act. That's not true.
We have a podcast, and we like to be a happy place for people to come and listen to, and talk about magic, right?
Yes.
That is a specific goal of Good Luck High Five.
Yes.
We want you to come here and have a good time and hang out and talk about stuff that you love. So we try to make this a happy place where you can come and be happy when you listen.
I also feel like there is absolutely we both do improv.
Yep.
And I feel this 100% in other kinds of improv that I do. Like, especially like improvised Shakespeare, which is one of my favorite kinds. It's so, I don't know how to explain it, but I step out onto the stage and I can just turn it on.
Oh, absolutely.
There's like a switch and you flip the switch. And all of a sudden you're just like, yep, this is what I'm doing and this is how I am.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's very similar when we come and record. It's like, okay, I am flipping the switch on my ability to, no matter what else is out in the world that's weighing on me, which it's a lot
right now, everybody.
It is
a lot.
Sometimes what feels like an amount that is going to crush me.
Yeah.
Very honestly.
Absolutely.
And yet, when we come in here, there is still something about being here and talking about magic that allows me to find that little part of my brain that finds joy doing this.
Absolutely.
So find that little part of your brain that finds joy doing it.
In whatever it is.
Yes.
And give yourself...
And if you cannot find it anywhere, go on antidepressants.
Yeah. I mean...
It sounds facetious, but I mean it.
Like, hopefully you have that thing that you can go to that allows you to flip the switch and give yourself permission to flip it, too.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to bear the weight of all the terrible things that are happening right now all the time.
All the time. One, too much for
too
you.
Much.
Two, you need to be a person living your life.
And you're allowed to be a person living your life. Having some moments of happiness and joy amidst this hellscape that we've been.
Otherwise, how are you going to keep going to do all the hard work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you want to go out and do the hard work, you also need to give yourself some time where you are doing joyful things.
I always talk about finding your lane to do the best good, to do the most and the best good. You'll do it when you're the happiest doing what you are built for in this world, what you were meant to do, what you excel at. You know, it's always like, oh gosh, I have to do X, Y, and Z and all of these other things to make the world a better place. And it's like you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to be less helpful than the people who are experts at that. And so it's like, what are you great at? If you're somebody who's like, I want to affect change, what are you great at? Affect it in the way of something you're great at, and then you won't burn out. Yeah. Because you'll be doing something you like at the same time. Anyway, we went deep on that question.
Woo! Yeah. Next one. What do you think angel milk tastes like?
Great question.
I've been clear. I think that it's a brand of vodka.
Yeah.
It tastes like vodka.
I'm going to answer this in one word. Horchata.
Wow. Maria, I would like to continue to enjoy the experience of drinking horchata, so please. I'm just going to clip this out of my memory.
I was thinking this question.
I'm just going to cut it right out.
Because I knew it was coming, and I'm like, what am I going to say? And then it just came to me. Like, I didn't even have to think about it.
No.
It just, the truth was revealed to me, if you like. Divinely. Next question. What are your favorite legendary creatures? Great question. Ooh. Great question.
Wow.
There's so many to choose from nowadays.
Yeah.
My favorite I'm going to put up near the top is the Squirrel Lord.
Yes.
Because
of course.
Chatterfang? I just love a good squirrel. There's more than one legendary squirrel now, though. Right. I'm going to find out how many we actually have.
Yeah. I've always been a big fan of the original Theros gods, especially Thassa.
Oh yeah, you love Thassa.
I love Thassa. Thassa's definitely way up there for me. I also really like Afara, who is god of the Polis, the blue-white.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, really, really love Afara. Oh, Toski is great.
Toski is legendary. Toski's
a really good one.
This one, what on earth is this from? Unsanctioned. I've never seen this card before. Acornelia, fashionable filcher.
Wow. Great.
This is a squirrel. Whenever you cast a spell with a squirrel in its art, you get an acorn counter. So, okay.
Cute.
Whenever a squirrel you control enters the battlefield or dies, you get acorn counter. 2 and a black, pay X acorn counters. Target creature gets -X until end of turn.
Wow.
Green, pay X acorn. Target creature gets +X until end of turn. It's a 3/3.
Wow.
That's a great squirrel.
Great squirrel.
Excellent squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a good legendary squirrel. Mark Rosewater knows this.
Yep.
And that's what's really important because he's the man who makes the cards. A great Minnesotan question.
Oh yeah, what is your favorite lake?
Wow, we are the land of 10,000 lakes here in Minnesota, even though it's more like 15,000.
Wow, there's so many lakes.
It's a lot of lakes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this past weekend because I was at a lake and I was thinking about loons, which is a state bird of Minnesota. Yeah. And loons, there's 2 loons to every lake, mated pair. And I was wondering, like, how does a loon choose which lake it's going to be at? You know, because there can only be 2.
Yeah.
Do they go in and do they just like murder the other loons that are at the lake?
It's a Highlander situation.
It's a Highlander loon lake situation.
Yeah.
And then what if there's just a large puddle? You know, at what point will the loon say, no,
this isn't a lake anymore?
This isn't a lake.
Yeah.
Those are 2 questions I have. So if you're a birdologist, let me know. Because I'm curious.
I saw some loons on the solstice.
Oh, they're so great.
When I was at one of my favorite Minnesota lakes, which is Cedar Lake.
Cedar Lake.
Just here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Like in Minneapolis, I love Cedar and I love Nokomis.
I love Hiawatha. That's probably my favorite Minneapolis lake.
Hiawatha's a good one.
Yeah.
Like Cedar has some of my favorite beaches.
Yeah.
Really like swimming at Cedar. Nokomis also has good beaches.
Yeah.
And I like to walk or rollerblade around it.
Yeah.
Great Lake.
Great Lake.
Good stuff. Been to Lake Itasca. Also very nice lake.
Speaking
Headwaters
of Great
of the
Lakes,
Mississippi.
Lake Superior. I mean, like,
ooh,
let's
Lake
just get
Superior
real.
is a top lake.
Top lake. And follow Lake Superior on Twitter at Lake Superior if you want a sassy
Delightful.
lake who is
Very
just
sassy.
taking terrible takes down left and right. It's just great.
I also really like Lake Michigan. I've been swimming in Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan's excellent.
Really nice. Great swimming.
Great beaches in Lake Michigan, too.
Yes, exactly.
Schoolhouse Beach. I was there last year.
Turns out that we're a big fan of lots of lakes.
Yeah, we could go on. Gosh, I never thought of myself as a
I know, right?
lake
Until
fan.
you don't think of yourself as like a person who has a lot of favorite lakes until someone asks you.
What's your favorite lake?
Wow. And those are only my favorite Minnesota lakes. I have other favorite lakes.
Did you know that there is a lake that was a puddle in a Taco Bell parking lot and it got tagged on Google Maps as like Lake Taco Bell or something? I'm saying it wrong,
Great.
I know, but anyway, that existed for a while.
Congratulations to Lake Taco Bell.
It was in Minnesota. So there you go. Question. What's something that surprised you about the magic industry once you got, quote, big, unquote?
Yeah. Wow.
Did we ever get big?
I don't know, man.
I guess so. I mean, relative to what we were.
Yeah, relative to what we were.
Relative to what exists. I have an answer for this.
Yeah, go for it.
So, yeah, we started working with Wizards coverage teams. Gosh, how long has that been now?
1 billion years.
1 billion years. What surprised me was how small of a company Wizards of the Coast is.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people make the joke when they're like, why is this thing wrong on Arena or X, Y, or Z, something wrong happened. They'll say, oh, small indie game company or whatever.
But they're making incredible amounts of money.
Yes,
like absolutely absurd amounts of money. They're not small.
But they are small relative to other game companies that do similar things.
Yeah.
Like Blizzard or whatever. They feel very small. Like
Yes.
that's what was surprising to me. How small Wizards of the Coast felt. Like we know a lot of people who work there. I don't know. It just felt like a small company, and it was for a long time before it just kind of popularity exploded, expanded, got bought by Hasbro, all these other things. But it remains kind of how many people are in R&D? You know,
I have no idea.
20? I mean, that might be
more
wrong.
than that.
But I mean, it feels pretty small.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not like what you're thinking of, like 100.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's wild.
Anyway, that was my biggest thing.
Yeah. Gosh, I still can't I can't quite think of anything. Because I feel like all of it, I didn't really have any expectations going in. Exactly. It was just kind of like, well, whatever happens.
Yeah.
I would say maybe sometimes how interconnected everything is. Like you'll meet someone, like the ease with which we eventually met Mark Rosewater.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just like, what?
Oh,
he's just a dude.
Just a
okay,
dude.
here's the most surprising thing I ever learned. Mark Rosewater is just some dude.
He's the loudest dude we've ever met.
The loudest person. It is also unbelievable how actually loud he is.
Extremely loud.
He's extremely loud. And also, obviously, one of the most, talented people in the area of game design. In that way, he is not a normal person. He certainly has exceptional talent.
Yeah.
But also,
he's just a guy. Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Mark Rosewater is human.
Have you ever met a famous person and you're like, oh, they're just a guy?
Yes, exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I've told this story on the podcast before of the first time I met Marshall. We gave him a present. We gave him a present on behalf of our podcast. It was a card that he had set on limited resources that he hated. And we thought, wouldn't it be funny if we signed it and gave it to him? It's the stupidest idea for a present. Anyway, we did. Yeah. And my hands were sweating. My hands were sweating as I met him. Host of Limited Resources, everybody. And now I'm like, Marshall's just a guy.
Just a guy. Just a guy. Now an exceptionally famous watch person.
YouTube channel personality.
Sure, why not? Just some guy. So do you know what? If there's anything you take away from this.
Famous people?
Everyone's just some guy.
So true. Question. What is your favorite place to eat in Minnesota?
Ooh.
I know.
This is very good. Do you know what? Okay, I don't know if it's not my favorite place, but I was recently reminded of how good Pimento is. Mm-hmm. Pimento is
real good.
It's a Jamaican kitchen, and it is so good.
I ordered some during the pandemic. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Should go back.
It's one that it's like, for some reason it never jumps into my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's like a little bit off, like it's not in kind of like the normal, like not right in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Or something, but it's so good.
I have a recommendation for you steak lovers out there, if you're like me. My new favorite place, one of my favorite places, Birch, closed down during the pandemic. I was very sad. But Baltimore is now where I will go for a good steak in Minneapolis. It's in a parking lot of a mall.
Great.
The restaurant is in a mall parking lot, which, I'm like, really? But that's where it is. The steak is absolutely phenomenal. You can pay more for a USDA cut, which I recommend. I'm just like in for a penny, in for a pound when it comes to good steak.
If you're going for a good steak,
you might as
have
well
the best steak.
So I'm not going to lie to you that it's cheap, because it certainly isn't. But like, if you're like going to treat yourself at Baltimore. I love that place. Their steaks are incredible.
Wow.
Second to none.
All right.
Yeah. And I also am going to shout out Volstad's, which is a cocktail lounge in Uptown.
Delightful.
Which I also love.
Yeah.
Will you be at any Command Fests? Related question. Will Good Luck High Five be attending any Magic events this year? Magic 30, maybe.
We will be at Magic 30.
We will be at Magic 30.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That question was from Melissa DeTora. So.
Oh, hi, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
We miss you.
Yes, we'll be at Magic 30.
You better be there. That better be why you're asking. Yeah. If you're not there and you ask this question, I'm going to be real mad.
So mad. We would love to meet as many people as we can at Magic 30. So if you're coming out, please say hi. We'll talk about it more once we get closer to it in October. Other events, hopefully a DreamHack event in the fall. That I'm not sure what else, honestly.
We'll kind of see. I'm very much still... Magic 30 is probably going to honestly be my first big event post-pandemic.
Still mid-pandemic.
Just because... I feel, I'm not ready.
Yeah, it's tough. And also they're not, Grand Prix don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And we would go to Grand Prix all the time.
Yeah, Command Fests are like the new.
But we're not huge Commander people, so probably not Command Fest is the answer to that.
If someone invents 100 card sleeved shuffler, let us know. We're exceptionally more likely to play Commander.
Absolutely. Which do you prefer, Midwest summers or winters?
Summers. Next question.
What draft archetype have each of you enjoyed a lot over the years?
Oh man. Okay, I was thinking a lot recently about Khans of Tarkir, one of our favorite things to think about. Khans of Tarkir. The blue-green Secret Plans deck.
Oh, that's a great deck.
Love that deck. You just draft a bunch of morphs.
So your answer is morphs.
Morphs.
I love a good morph.
Yeah.
I really loved Theros mechanics around enchantments. Mm-hmm. So in that vein, Bestow is included in that, but also just enchantments mattering, I think, is one of my favorite archetypes over the years.
Oh yeah.
So enchantment matters would be my answer to that question, and definitely I would. Heroic, I love that as well, which is another Theros mechanic. If you could manifest and use any magic artifact, which would it be?
Oh, man, this is a great question. Great question. Also, I really love that one of the most famous ones, Black Lotus, would be like the least useful thing.
Yeah, like I have a flower. Great. It's going to die in 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. Like eventually it dies. Bummer.
Man, you could use a crow and horse. You could get into somewhere.
Oh yeah, you could get into somewhere. Like you don't have to manifest that. That's based on a thing that was.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alchemy's Archive. I would love that.
Ooh,
just a big
library.
Library.
That sounds great.
Love it. Give me a big old library.
I think that you've got to think about Mindslaver in this context.
Wow.
Because if you could mind control anyone on the planet, it would be useful. That's all I'm saying. With great power comes great response to Trillitrance, of course, as we all know.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, there's a few people that I feel like you could mind slave right now, and like it would probably benefit humanity.
Very, very good. It would probably be good for a lot of people.
So I'm just saying.
Do you know what, Maria? All right. I feel like, that's a very good.
Just saying.
That's a very good answer. Also, there are 2,500 artifacts.
In Magic?
In Magic.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
There's so many.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Question.
Yes.
What's the best modern deck to distract me from the rapidly accelerating descent of my country into fascist theocracy?
I don't know. Valakut? I love lands. I'll play Movable Titan.
I took a peek at what's on the tops in Modern right now.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
Because I was just interested. So I took a look. Murktide Regent deck, which is a cool, like, little delve. Spells matter. Like, kind of like a Phoenix-like deck, which is really cool.
Yeah, I got some Ragavans in there, of course.
Yeah, Dragon's Rage Channeler, and then a bunch of instants and sorceries.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to answer a deck like Hammer Time, because I just love playing...
yeah, big dumb things.
Stoneforge Mystic.
Maria's going to always tell you it'll be something like Boggles.
Yeah, something like Boggles, which Hammer Time is.
Yeah.
You get to play the reality chip in Hammer Time. You know?
Yeah. But once again, the answer comes back to whatever is the thing that gives you enough joy that you can turn around and you get back out there and you fight.
Yep,
okay?
Absolutely.
Because that, at the end of the day, is the most important thing that you can do, is invest in your immediate community, because
those
honestly,
are the people you can
nothing
impact.
About corporations or contemporary politics has ever been about making your life better. So what can you do in your community to make your life and your community members' lives better?
Yeah.
And community can both mean in your immediate neighborhood. It can mean any network that you are a part of. We are, for instance, a part of an improv community.
Yep.
Very much a community. You're part of a magic community. What can you do to take people who are uninvested in any of it and get them at least on your side? Take people who are on your side and get them to go to an event or also talk to other people with you. What can you do to make the people who are talking and going to events organizers or people who are helping organize? The answer for your modern question is anything that gives you the energy to do that.
Next question. Do you ever miss calling yourself Magic the Amateur?
Do you know what? No.
I occasionally slip up and call us that.
Wild.
It's been on an episode.
Yeah.
Like at the top of the episode, I'm like, it's Good Luck High Five or whatever. I feel like it wasn't that long ago. I almost said Magic the Amateur.
Wow.
But no, it was a bad name.
It was a bad name. It was a different podcast.
Yeah. It was
I feel like Good Luck High Five is a better show.
Yeah.
It's a more coherent show, which is sometimes hard to believe, I know, considering. But I think that it is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
and also it's impossible to spell, so.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a bad name. I started listening in the early days thanks to a recommendation from Limited Resources. Thank you, Marshall, who's just a guy. Got any shout-outs for any other Magic content creators that are maybe up and coming that you particularly enjoy? 2 people asked this question.
Yeah. So one of my answers is they're not new anymore.
Yeah, no.
But the VML, I just follow everyone like
associated.
I follow Hayu, I follow Caroline, I follow everyone associated with the VML.
Arya.
Yes, just to like keep up on what's happening over there.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I love to know, love to see what they're doing, find out ways to help what they're doing. Follow everyone associated with the VML.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Great one.
I love Alias, also not new to Magic. Alias V started a channel recently on YouTube, Elder Dragon Hijinks, which if you're into Commander, is a cool new channel that you can check out. Puts in a lot of time and energy into editing some cool Commander games for everybody to watch. And it's just fun, positive place to be. And so I want to give that channel a shout out.
That's a great one.
I also personally love watching Voxy, who is not new, but also if you just need somebody to scream about Magic for a while you're watching Twitch.
Great.
Highly recommend.
Sometimes that's what you need.
Good question here. Say you're designing the next Masters level reprint set, and each of you gets to bring in one limited archetype from the past to be included. What archetypes and in what colors would you choose?
Related to what I said earlier, I pick Morph deck.
Yeah, Morph.
Secret Plan, blue-green, Secret Plans, Morph deck.
And I would say what I said earlier, which is an Enchantments Matter sub-theme.
Love it.
Yeah, maybe used in new and different ways. I can't do that in a Master set, but for the future, used in new and different ways. But yeah, I love Enchantments Matter. I don't care. Put it in.
Yeah.
Green, white, to answer your question. What card from the last couple of years that was a design win, both in terms of flavor and mechanics?
Oh, interesting.
This person spelled flavor with a U, so...
They're British.
I see you. Wink. I wanted to shout out Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, which I think I said a lot at the time was a tremendously flavorful set that I thought was a huge success on that level.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say, like, just a 2 cards from that set that stood out to me. They all really, truly did. But I feel like a card like Dungeon Map is such a perfect example. Okay, here it is. 3 for an artifact, tap, add colorless. 3 tap, venture into the dungeon, activate only as a sorcery.
Yeah.
That card does exactly what you think it would do. It's a map. You go into the dungeon. Likewise, the cards that give you a choice, the choice cards. For example, you find a cursed idol. 1 in a green sorcery. Choose 1. Smash it. Destroy target artifact. Lift the curse. Destroy target enchantment. Steal its eyes. Create a treasure token and venture into the dungeon. Like,
nice.
That card is so flavorful. If you think about Dungeons and Dragons, that's it. You're playing it on this card. Yeah. And also it does exactly what you think you would do if you find a cursed idol. You've got 3 options. Like, I don't know. I think that these designs were brilliant. And I just got to give them props. So there you go. There's my answers.
Yeah. There is some stuff in Streets of New Capenna that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I really like Citizen's Crowbar is one that comes to mind. I love the I love that it's an artifact that you can sack to destroy an artifact or enchantment.
It's a crowbar.
And exactly. Right. I love it. I just love the idea of it.
Yeah.
That it is power in the people's hands.
Yep.
And you make a little citizen to go along with it. That was one that really stood out to me. And then what is it? Stimulus package.
Stimulus package
was very funny to me. So there were a couple
card name too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I think of that in terms of like flavor. Was very funny to me.
And the crew over at Magic, who's adding in flavor to these cards, like thumbs up. They've really been killing it the last few sets, making cards flavorful.
Yeah. Oh man, we talked about how like Xander became, through the Magic story, one of our favorite characters.
We love Xander.
I stan Xander. He's great.
We love Xander. Big Xander
What
stans.
a great character.
What is the best way to get my friends to start playing Oathbreaker?
Oh man, watch our videos on it.
Videos. And
I know that that's like a plug for our own stuff, but very truly, Judge Rob loves Oathbreaker. He loves talking with us about Oathbreaker, and we're noobs at it.
Yeah.
So I feel like he addresses it in a way with us that is very accessible. But also very fun.
Yeah, the videos are great. We've done a few segments with Rob. We've got another one that we can do coming up here if we want, now that I think about it, because we've got some new Planeswalkers out there. But here's an idea. Get your friends to play a game with you and be like, we have got 45 minutes and then we have to stop playing because we're going to go see a movie or have dinner or something.
Exactly.
So, like, they can't play Commander. It'll take too long.
They made a set of 2022 starter decks. It's a pack of 4 that if you make a donation
You just get them.
You just get them. If you donate $100 or more to the organization Magic Kids, who developed the Oathbreaker format, you get all 4 decks, and you're supporting a great organization. So, and also those decks are very easy to use. They're all fun to play together in a group.
Yep, we did it.
Just you can grab those. Be like, you don't even have to have a deck. Here's a deck. Let's play it.
It's already done.
Like Maria said, it'll be less than an hour, which is just bonkers for a multiplayer format.
They also asked, what the heck is the Welsh sloth scandal?
I remember when this happened, and I have zero memory of what it is.
It's a long time ago.
Absolutely no memory.
No
of
memory.
What it is.
I have no idea.
None.
I'm sorry.
It's a blank.
I don't know.
I wish that we could tell you, but we cannot.
What improvements should be made to Alchemy, and what do you think will happen to Alchemy? Did you enjoy the Alchemy draft format?
The Alchemy draft was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy they did it to get some more cards into Alchemy. It was still New Capenna. There were some problems with that draft format.
Exactly. So it didn't improve the fact
that
the baseline was itself flawed. What should be made? What changes should be made? I think having more Alchemy draft.
More accessibility to Alchemy cards.
To the cards.
So that it becomes cheaper to play.
Yes.
Would be my answer to that. What do I think will happen to it? Gosh, I really don't know.
Who knows? Will it survive? I think it's still a year into this, the biggest question of Alchemy.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Will this format make it? I don't know.
Don't know.
So what will happen? Maybe it will just die.
If you made me put money on it, I would place my bet that it will die.
Wow.
But not too much to the sadness, I think, of Wizards who like they really were excited about this new format.
Yeah.
So unless they'd make some radical changes in the price of acquiring this kind of stuff and the events, I think that will happen.
That's probably a big part of it.
So we'll find out.
They need to do also they need to do something to jumpstart people's interest in it.
Yes.
It was not enough to run a big tournament that had it as the top 8 format. There's just not enough. More. And we know, right, one of the people over at MTG Goldfish were like, just there's not enough data. And people ask for it so that there is some demand right now. But also there's not enough data to provide them the information that they're looking for. So I feel like that does speak to there's something going on there. What will happen? Who knows?
Don't know.
Literally, people told us to never talk about alchemy on the podcast ever. We have had that direct kind of feedback. Will we still talk about it? Probably sometimes when there's something to talk about, but like,
we talked about it today.
Yes. But in part because that impacts Historic also.
Yes, indeed.
Anyways.
Final question. The gathering is the most important part of Magic for me. Meeting people and developing a regular play group. What are your priorities and thoughts on how to cultivate a great local group?
You have to be the person who asks people to do a thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, it sucks, but because sometimes we just want to be invited to stuff and not plan it. But being the person to be like, hey, let's do this is such a gift to people. It really is. What an amazing gift to be like, I will ask you to come do something. Exactly.
Also, go to different stores in your local area. Play it at a bunch of different places. Become a regular on draft night or whatever night that you like to play Magic. And you'll eventually start meeting people that way for the other regulars who are in the store. And chances are they'll want to play with you. Yeah. Outside of the store.
Most stores will have like different nights at like Monday Modern or something like that. Yeah. And like their F&M will usually be like standard or some kind of format like that. And so there are like find the format that you like to play and find the night that it is happening at a local store and just keep going and meeting people. Also, if you are the person organizing something and someone is a jerk, tell them to leave.
Yeah, there you go.
It is very, like, when people know that they can trust you to just be like, hey, no crap.
I put that sign over my bathroom toilet.
Gee, that sounds like a problem for a bathroom, Maria. Yeah, that's right. That's a good thing. I'm much more likely to go to a gathering where I know that someone has been like, hey, I kicked someone out because they were being a jerk, and it's
nice
like, great.
Place to be. Okay. Finally, if you live in a more metropolitan area, there are chances that there will be other groups that you can find that talk about the stuff you're interested in Magic. For example, there is a Minneapolis Competitive Limited group on Facebook.
Yeah.
And probably other places now, like
Facebook
Discord
groups
or whatever.
They're not just for your crazy aunt.
So like you can search for that kind of stuff. And if it doesn't exist, why not create it?
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I love Competitive Limited and I live in Denver. Can we make a group where we just talk about this? Maybe we get together and we're like, oh, we've got an RCQ coming up. Let's practice together or whatever.
Great.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at you already using shorthand for the new system.
I know. It just happened this past weekend.
Amazing.
A lot of people qualified.
Congratulations.
So congrats to the people who did and played. But yeah, the new system's slowly rolling out, everybody.
Yeah, it is.
New Magic landscape on the horizon. And also here right now.
Here, but also there.
Well, everybody, that is this episode of Good Luck High Five.
Yes.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. However you listen, however you watch. I've got hair in my mouth.
And just to give you a heads up, we have some cool episodes coming up. We're putting together a couple because we're both doing some travel for this summer.
I can't get it out. I got it.
Okay. I'm really glad.
Update.
I was trying to give you some cup.
Thank you. Meghan almost destroyed the set in one foul glance.
One foul glance, yeah. All right. I was trying to give you some cover. I don't even remember.
We've got fun episodes coming up.
Fun episodes coming up. We're both traveling for the summer.
Yep.
So we've put together a couple of topics that we're like super excited to talk about.
Yeah.
And along with some additional segments, some like extras segments that are...
You're going to like them.
They're very, very silly. Just to give you a preview, one of them is called Oops, They're Hot. So get ready for that.
Thank you so much, everybody. Become a patron if you love our show. We would love to have you in our Discord.
Yes.
And all the other benefits if you pledge at higher levels. Patreon.com/GLHF Magic. We would love to give you a shout out on the next show and have you a part of our family. Thank you to Ultra Pro. Thank you to Card Kingdom for being our sponsors. And thanks for hanging out in your sweaty pool instead of watching Judy Justice and listening to our mouths.
No matter how bad your Amazon Fire wants you to watch Judy Justice, you haven't yet. And that means something to us.